another Acoustic Alternatives from Grove Studios in Ypsilanti, home of the podcast since the fall of 2020. We've told the story, 100 times or so now. Just was invited to do a podcast by the folks who own Grove because they wanted a little bit more exposure to what they were doing here in Ypsi. If you're in the area, Detroit, Ann Arbor area, looking for a place to get out of the garage and get into the studio, grovestudios.space is the website. I strongly encourage you to look into it. And as it turns out, to my delight and surprise, my guest, Lauren Blackford, has been here before. Hello, Lauren. Welcome to Acoustic Alternatives.
Hi, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Tell me about your experiences since we're pumping up Grove for a second here.
Yeah, I first became aware of Grove when I was going to Washtenaw Community College. My professor at the time brought in Rick, one of the founders, and I was like, oh, this seems like a really cool space. So then I came in a couple times to record. I've been here for band rehearsals. I'm here now. So yeah, very familiar.
Very cool. Well, my exposure to you has been limited, and this happens on a rare occasion where I go to see somebody else, and then the opener comes on. And in this case, I actually brought you on and mispronounced your name, which I'm totally embarrassed by.
It happens.
It does. But it doesn't happen to me that often because I hadn't met you yet, other than backstage really quickly. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, how do I not know this person already? Well, where have I been? And why am I, okay, I'm out of the loop. So when I went backstage to bring Rochelle Clark on stage, I said, you are going to be on my podcast. And so here we are. You followed my advice. Thank you. I saw you do, 5 or 6 songs and was immediately a fan.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a good thing. But let me be honest. What I saw at the show is not what I heard on the record.
Correct.
And it took me, I spun it in my car a couple of times and went, okay. Not what I heard, but I still like it, but I'm not sure. So I put it away. And then you finally reached out to me and said, hey, let's do this. I'm like, okay, put it back in the car. 2 weeks of not hearing it, not expecting the live show when I put the disc in, changed my perspective on the record completely. And I love it. And you were just doing one of the songs that is one of my favorites from the EP as the warm-up song. Yeah. So why don't we just start there? Because you got it on your brain, and I love that song. Lauren Blackford, my guest on Acoustic Alternatives.
Cool. This is called A Good Thing. Guess it's true what they say. You were kind and it killed me. Piece of mind, piece of cake. You're divine and it's filthy. Waiting on your doorstep, I don't wanna go yet. If I stick around, it's gonna sting. Kissed at every red light, picked at petals all night. What am I supposed to do with a good thing? April Fool, like the rain, fall too fast, hit the pavement. Watch it pool down the drain, wash away all my hopes. 'Cause you want me until you don't, and I'm just waiting. Waiting on your doorstep, I don't wanna go yet. If I stick around, it's gonna sting. Kissed at every red light, picked at petals all night. What am I supposed to do with a good thing? Is it something in the water? Call it karma coming around. I'm allergic to your perfect, don't deserve what I found. Winter disposition in a spring awakening. What am I supposed to do with you? Good thing. I stick around, it's gonna sting. We kissed at every red light, picked at petals all night. What am I supposed to do with a good thing? What am I supposed to do?
It's a good thing, and it definitely is a good thing. Lauren Blackford on Acoustic Alternatives from Grove Studios, available on the 2-year anniversary EP. Well, it's, this is the original EP. Celebrating its 2-year anniversary one too many times, your debut EP that you self-produced. Mm-hmm. Okay, another little thing here. Listening to this, not knowing that until I started doing the research for this, I thought, did Chris DuPont produce this? And then I kept listening like, oh, did she get Tyler Duncan to produce this? Do you know Tyler at all? Mm-mm. You have a touch already at such a young age to do things that sound like people I really respect from our local scene.
Thanks.
And wow, okay. Where did you learn that skill?
I don't know. I think it was just out of necessity. When I was in high school and I started writing more, I wanted to hear myself back and sort of, bring it to life the way that I heard it in my head. Mm-hmm. So I had like a free online MIDI controller that I like taught myself to produce on, and then eventually got Logic, and that was just like a new playground because it's so much more intensive of what you're able to do. So this is the first project that I ever did on Logic. Before that, I was using like some online stuff.
A, your songwriting and your voice is beautiful, so you have something there. But B, you should be producing other people too, because
I actually am.
Okay, good. You've got a skill set already.
Thanks. Yeah. I know. I love producing. I think that's like a huge part of my artistry is like the writing and producing things myself, because right. I do have such a clear vision, and I know that if I just learn how to do it, I can do it. So
right. And the way I heard the song is obviously the way you wrote it, but the way you reimagined it for the EP, a little bit more electronic sounding, a little bit more, I don't know,
more rock,
right?
A little bit, yeah.
Right. I mean, nothing's going to sound like a rock song on an acoustic guitar unless you're
yeah.
But still, I'm really admiring your work.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Milan, Michigan is home, and has it always been home?
Born and raised in Ypsi. I moved to Milan when I was 13. Okay. I had transferred to Milan schools, and we were moving at the time anyway. So just moved to Milan. I've been there ever since, so it's been 10 years. Okay.
And what was your favorite thing about growing up in both parts of your life? You had a little bit of time in Ypsi.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Anything well, when I think about, like, my house in Ypsi, my 2 best friends growing up were my neighbors. So that was the best, because we would just run to each other's backyards, show up at each other's back door and say, hey, I'm here to hang out. So that was like my favorite memories from living there. And then in Milan, I remember before we had moved, but I had just started going to Milan schools, my mom and I took a day just to go explore downtown, and went to this coffee shop called The Owl. And then years later, that ended up being where I played my first ever gig. So that's kind of like a cute little kismet moment. Those memories of like first discovering, and of course now I know every nook and cranny of that town, and I can't leave the house without running into someone I know. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Are you an only child, or do you have siblings?
I'm the youngest of 3.
Okay.
I have 2 older brothers, so I'm the only girl and I'm the baby. So.
Also the baby, but of 4, you get a slightly different treatment, I think, as a baby. I can relate to that.
I think so. I mean. And I'm very aware of that and very grateful to my older brothers, especially my oldest brother, for like, carving the path for me to be able to live my truth growing up.
Would anybody that knew you in school be surprised at what you're doing right now? No. Not at all? No. This is what you were always doing? No.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually did a post the other day because it was World Theater Day. Yeah. I posted some old pictures of me in like my elementary school productions. Like, this has always been it. Like, I was... grew up watching like Hannah Montana. I remember like my earliest dreams was that I like wanted to be like a Disney singer. But I was always singing, even back then with my like 2 neighbor friends I talked about, like we would write songs together. So like I've been doing this since I could speak.
Wow.
So I don't think it really surprised anyone. It might have surprised people that I have been pursuing it as a career the way that I am, but the fact that I'm doing it in general, like, that is not a surprise to anyone.
Was there ever another path? Did you ever think about anything else? No, never.
No.
Okay.
No, I remember even like my senior year of high school, we had to do some like career search and reports and things, and I didn't mind about being a musician. Like, it was always the thing.
You're determined.
Yeah.
In the song you performed, you actually said the words Spring Awakening, and I said, I wonder if that's about the musical. Is that a reference to?
That is one of my favorite musicals. It's not a direct reference. I just like the idea of that song. Like, I reference April, and I liked the idea of putting in another lyric about it being spring and opening yourself up to something new. So that was kind of in the back of my head. I just wrote it down.
As a fan of the theater, and I did stage crew 3 years and then had enough guts to try out for Officer Krupke. So I did that.
Love it.
I know, but I can't sing. I can't sing like you, so that's why I took the speaking part. But
sure.
Do you ever think about incorporating that into your career as well, or maybe at some point you become like Ingrid Michaelson has written music for the...
another one of my favorite musicals is Hadestown.
Okay.
So, or like, so Anais Mitchell or like Sarah Bareilles writing Waitress. Like, I can see myself doing that maybe like down the road a bit. I really like doing the like songwriter producer thing under my name right now, but it's definitely like a long-term goal to get back into theater.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially since it's such a part of you.
Yeah.
All right. So I know earlier in your career, which you still are, you're already getting support from Jeff Milo at WDET. There are a fair amount of articles online. People have interviewed you from the local music scene. I mean, it's not easy as somebody who's been doing this in some form or another for longer than you've been alive, 41 years this year, record retail, record wholesale, radio. It's not easy to get attention coming out of the box. So maybe it's what did you do to immediately get attention? You're good and you deserve it, but like, how did you present yourself?
I don't know. I think I just got lucky with the network that I had. Like I said, I went to WCC, and like through that program, I met a lot of people, even like related to Grove or like the art fair and stuff like that. So I just like out the gate knew the people to talk to at least get a couple things out there. So I think it was like a mix of luck of, right place, right time, but then also like I don't want to say that it was just like I definitely made an effort throughout college to like network and like attend events and things like that to meet people. So
when it's the only thing you think about and the only thing you want to do, I mean, like I said, you're determined and you're doing what you have to do. I have some other musical friends from the local scene who, I mean, at some point they have to earn a living to pay the bills, and I don't know how this is working for you. I'm not trying to pry into your financial world, but it becomes a little bit more difficult when you have more responsibilities, children, whatever, to figure out how to make music your living. So some of these friends I'm referring to would love to just book all the gigs and play anything they can play, but sometimes they gotta earn enough money to put the roof over their heads. And it's
no, I work a part-time job, and I luckily love my part-time job and don't plan on leaving anytime soon. So that's really nice that I have that as a way to make money. So because then I have some savings to put into music.
Where can we find you? Are we allowed to ask that question?
Sure. I mean, it's like whatever. I work at a lavender farm in Milan. Yeah, kind of a like weird, interesting job, but I love it there.
I didn't know there were lavender farms in Milan. Interesting. Well, it's a short commute.
Yeah. Yep.
A little bit longer than a little longer to get to here. One of the things you've accomplished along the way is the best vocalist at Illinois' Bitter Jester Music Festival. A, didn't know about the festival. B, congratulations.
Thanks, yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Another just determined to do more things thing for you?
Yeah, so it was before the EP came out in April 2024, like the winter before, I was like, okay, I need to like book some stuff because once this comes out, I want to like hit the ground running. And I think that summer I played like 30 shows or something crazy, but maybe it wasn't that many. But anyway, I was looking for like festivals and even like larger scale, and I came across Bitter Jester, and they're a 21 and under festival.
Oh, okay.
The whole point is to like put young up and comers on stage. And I was 21 at the time I found it, so I was like, okay, I only have one more year that I can try this, might as well. Ended up making it into the competition. They do like preliminary rounds, so I went out for my prelim round. Didn't win my prelim night, but I got very close second. They were very vocal with me about the fact that it was like a tough decision. But something cool that they do is they do wild card picks. Mm-hmm. So they pick a couple acts that didn't win their prelim to bring back to the finale and compete again. So they picked me as a wild card. Went back to Chicago like 2 weeks later. And yeah, ended up coming in 3rd overall and then winning Best Vocalist, which was very, very cool. I was very honored.
That's really good. Did you do a handful of songs or just one song for the competition?
It's a 30-minute set.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I squeezed like 8 in there. I was going
to say, what was the song that got you the win? Maybe we could play that one next. But
I don't know if there was one in particular, but...
We'll do another song.
All right, cool.
Love to hear your song.
Let me change my tuning real quick.
Sure, okay. Lauren Blackford is my guest on Acoustic Alternatives. We're at Grove Studios, grovestudios.space to check it out yourself. It's available for you to rent 24/7. We're here in the 10 to noon hour today on a Sunday, and this is how good she sounds this early in the morning, so you can imagine what she sounds like singing in a venue in the evening hours when she's a little bit more, awake and stuff. Lauren Blackford. What is your website while you're tuning? Can you rattle that off?
LaurenBlackford.us.
Ooh, .us. Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right.
.com was taken by someone else with my name. All right. This is one of my favorites from the EP. This is called Wasted Potential. Did you click this well with girls before me? And did you stick around this long with them? 'Cause I've seen all your pictures, you didn't look this injured back then. Was there something you wanted to tell me? You looked like you might be holding back. Oh, 'cause all those boys before you, they didn't ever look at me like that. Ooh, I don't know how far we got, but no, I wouldn't have stopped if you hadn't told me to. Oh, all this wasted potential potentially could have been spent all on you. I wish you would have gone home for the summer. At least then it would be a simple end. But instead you were a quitter, left me down and out and bitter as your friend. So I tell myself that you really did want this. I wasn't just a way to pass the time. But I've been through this routine. You were always gonna leave me out to dry. Ooh, I don't know how far we got, but no, I wouldn't have stopped if you hadn't told me to. All this wasted potential potentially could have been spent all on you. But I knew the fuse would run out. Every possibility 6 feet in the ground. So you can add our ashes to your shelf. With all the wasted potential that you could have wasted on somebody else.
Beautiful, heartbreaking. Makes me want to give her a hug. Lauren Blackford on Acoustic Alternatives. You can find Wasted Potential on the debut EP, One Too Many Times. And wow, yeah, I feel that song too.
That's like kind of my secret favorite of the EP.
Yeah, no, it's I especially like the line, the way he looked at you. Something about that just really makes me go, oh. Good stuff, really good stuff. We'll talk about this in a second, but I did want to back up to something we just said about the .com. Our previous guest, 2 guests ago, and our mutual friend Rochelle Clark has a similar problem, like seemingly uncommon name.
Yeah.
However, there are a lot of people. So you have, if you don't know, a executive director of Sierra Club using your name.
Didn't know that.
Yes. I don't think she has the .com. And then a holistic wellness coach.
That's the one that I knew about. Yeah.
They probably do some videos that might, when people are searching for videos of you.
I'm pretty sure she got married and changed her last name.
Oh,
so
good.
it might be available now. But I kind of like the US because it's like, I don't know,
Unique.
it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this record, because there are no credits, I don't know, is it all you? Every single thing on here you?
In terms of writing, producing, yes. The only thing that was not me, I did get a session drummer for the title track, Taylor Greenshields, who is an Ipsy-based, engineer and producer. Yeah, I reached out to him and asked if he would track some drums for me, and those are the drums that you hear.
Very
but
cool.
everything else, yeah, it was me.
I don't know how many more times how impressed I am about how well this turned out for somebody who just did it themselves.
Yeah, I worked really, really hard.
How long did it take you to put together?
Ooh, so the songs were written already when I went in, and I had the track list. I knew the story I wanted to tell in that order. But in terms of producing, I started right after I graduated in May 2023, and then it came out April 2024. So it was about a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever? This is probably a bad question to ask, but I'll ask it anyway because I do that. Do you ever think about the nature of these songs and what they're about and how difficult it is to keep singing them? Like, is it difficult to keep?
No. I think when I first wrote them, they were harder to sing. But yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit about what it's about. It's I had caught myself getting into similar cycles with the people I would date where I would get my hopes really high early on without much basis for that. And then, when it didn't work out, even though there's nothing wrong with that, I would just be so devastated, even though it was someone I wasn't with very long. So yeah, that's why it's called One Too Many Times, is like, I keep doing this. But luckily after I wrote that song, I didn't do it again. About a year later, I met my boyfriend, who I'm still with. We've been together for 3.5 years. So I think just getting it out helped me put that phase of my life behind me. So now I like singing them because I know that it's like a past version of me.
It's cathartic at some point, right?
Yeah.
Just getting it out and getting it on paper and then singing it and
I'm proud of the songs too. So when I'm singing them, I'm not thinking about the people I wrote them about. I'm thinking about how proud I am to have that work that I can share.
I've often wondered that with just other singers, like their big hit song is some heartbreaking thing that happened to them. Like, you have to sing this every night. Oh my God, you poor thing. But yeah,
I don't think I would have been able to put it out if I wasn't over it, because it would have sucked. But
yeah,
luckily it had been a couple years by the time it came out that I had written the songs.
Okay,
so
fair enough. The next record, which I think you last year teased a new song and then didn't put it out, right?
Yeah. I mean, life happens, and sometimes you have to take a break. That was ultimately the right decision for me, is to kind of slow things down a little bit. I took a break over the winter, just kind of chilled out, took care of myself. But yeah, the album is written. I just have to produce it. There's a couple songs that are tracked.
Doing it all yourself again?
Sort of. I'm executive producing for sure. Everything's written by me, but I am working with a band to actually record it and get some co-production. As much as I'm so proud that I did that myself, it did get tedious and a little bit lonely at times. And I feel like now I'm in more of the headspace of collaboration. And I'm so lucky to have met the guys in my band, and I just appreciate their artistry. So I'm I want to bring them on it, Yeah.
Who's in the band? Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah. So the guys that I played with, David Ward and Ben Wood, they play in a band together called Harmolodics. It's jazz. So yeah, David, I am still working with, out of Detroit. He's doing some co-production with me. We tracked drums the other week. And then Ben actually moved back to Nashville, but now I have an excuse to go to Nashville to record. So that's very cool.
Yeah. Co-producing with whom?
So TBD for some of them, because I have people that I want to work with too. You mentioned Chris DuPont earlier. We've had a couple sessions together. I've even teased him earlier when the train went by. I was thinking about his studio is right next to train tracks.
Okay.
And I was giving him crap about it last time. But no, he's great. And Kylie.
Yes.
Love Kylie. I want to get her vocals on some songs.
You
so
should.
yeah. So I have some people There's more, but I'll keep it under wraps for now.
Okay, I don't want to pry too much, but we're trying to tell a story here,
Yeah.
I guess. Do you have a hobby that isn't music? Anything that you do for fun that is not? I mean, music's my hobby too, but
Yeah, it's definitely like the main hobby. I don't know. I'm a big like movies fan. Like I like going to the theater to see movies. I like playing Sims. I like playing Minecraft.
Okay.
Like I'm chilling out playing video games usually. I'll go out. Something I started doing this past year is going out to the Diamondback to go line dancing. So that's
you
sort
don't
of
seem like a Diamondback girl. But
no,
okay.
I don't. But it's very fun, and it's a great way to get exercise. That's
Sure.
like the main thing.
I could use some exercise. When you get older, it doesn't come off as easy.
Sure.
Not your problem. You have mentioned your first gig was at the Owl.
Mm-hmm.
Was that during the pandemic?
Yeah, it was September 2020, so it was masked.
Yeah,
and
that was right before I started this. Actually.
Yeah, and people were like 20 feet away from me. But
was that weird for a first gig?
I didn't know anything else.
Well,
like
you've seen music,
yeah,
though.
no, I guess it's just I don't know, that type of gig in like a coffee shop is like they usually just kind of stick you in a corner anyway, so it wasn't that weird.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely like as time went on and restrictions started to come off, I was like, okay, I get it. Like there's something very special about people being in a room together experiencing music.
Did that help you because people, you can't really see them when they're masked. You can sort of see them, but it's not like the full face. I would think about nerves first few times playing, and seeing the people's faces might be harder than not being able to see their faces.
I don't remember, honestly, because it was so long ago, but I was definitely nervous, and I didn't have a lot of material at the time, so they had me for 2 hours, and I like repeated my hour set because I like didn't have anything else.
Did some covers, I imagine.
Yeah, no, lots of covers. I didn't have a lot of the songs on that EP written yet. I think I had Reset Button, and that was probably it. So that was in my first set. Fun fact, that song. But yeah, I mean, I was nervous for my gigs probably for the first 2 years. Like, I would take like CBD oil. I like needed to like
calm down.
Like I have anxiety anyway, so it was just sort of like an adjustment getting used to being on stage. Now it's like not that bad. I might get like an adrenaline surge before I go on, but I'm not like, biting my nails before I go on stage anymore.
Do you remember your first gig where you felt confident? Where that nervousness sort of went away?
The first time I ever played a venue, like a real venue, I played Ottawa Tavern in Toledo in like late 2022. And I think just having that different environment that wasn't like a coffee shop or a restaurant, like that's a very different thing than being like on stage at a venue. And I think I was probably still nervous, but just the thrill of like being in an actual venue, I think sort of overtook. And then I got the venue itch. And then I just kept wanting to play like venues.
Of course. Understandably. What are you doing to build an audience? Because as I mentioned earlier, that whole process of getting an audience, all I have personally is social media. I have Facebook and posts, and hopefully people see them. I don't have an email list. I don't really have a way to reach people with what I'm doing. I just have the history of my, time on radio in Ann Arbor. Maybe somebody's trying to figure out whatever happened to John Bomarito, and they Google my name and they find me, or I'm on stage at the Arc bringing somebody out and just drop a little mention in there.
Yeah.
I don't have a great way to get people's attention. What are you doing to do it?
Mostly it's just been live shows. That's kind of been my focus for the past 5 years, is just like gigging and trying to meet people in person. Because I feel like, yeah, because it goes a long way. And then, when you can actually shake someone's hand and hear what they have to say about your set, it like helps make me a better performer, as well as just like building that relationship. Mm-hmm. Social media, I have struggled with historically. I'm getting better, and that's kind of a goal of mine this year, is to really hit social media hard before stuff from the next record comes out, so that I'm not just like announcing it to no one.
You still might be, though, the way it works.
Yeah.
Like the algorithm might not like you.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm going to say an email list is actually more effective.
Yeah, and I do have an email list through my website, so you can scroll down and sign up.
But like if I'm genuinely interested in somebody's, when are you playing announcements, I'm going to see all of my emails. Yep. The Facebook posts, I have X number of thousands of friends because friends, air quotes. I don't see everybody's posts, and I would probably miss one from you unless it was just the right time.
For sure.
So
yeah, I try to announce things on socials, but I also do have the email list. So
it's just tough.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, having worked in the industry for so long, you have an advantage over 40 years ago when there was really no way for somebody like you to be heard, right?
Yep.
You needed a record label to be heard.
For sure.
Ticket prices were a little lower because they were making money off of selling records, unlike now. But we want to go see our favorites now, and we have to pay way too much money.
Yeah, I was deep in a rabbit hole about the whole like Live Nation monopoly the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to turn this off because it's making me sad."
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to succeed. You want to get to that level
Right.
where maybe you are playing Meadowbrook or whatever.
Little Caesars.
Right. Is that your goal?
Someone did a review of my EP once, and they mentioned the Ark and Little Caesars in the same sentence, where they were like, they'd fit it either, and now it's like, okay, maybe long-term goal is Little Caesars.
Okay, that's cool. As a headliner or an opener or both?
Both.
Okay. Who do you want to open for?
Oh gosh, like Dream.
Yeah. Pretend it doesn't matter.
Paramore.
Okay. Do they embrace your kind of stuff as their opening acts typically?
I think so. I feel like with alternative acts, you can kind of do whatever. I've seen some really interesting openers at certain headliner shows that I wouldn't necessarily expect, but it still fits with the vibe.
I think the Maggie Rogers crowd would love you.
I saw Maggie Rogers a couple years ago with the Japanese House opening. I'm a huge Japanese House fan.
There.
And Maggie Rogers. Yeah, so that was a great show. So either of them also dream headliners.
Yeah,
so.
I just might be too similar, but
yeah,
I still think that her crowd would
well,
love
I
you.
think with the next record, I'm definitely leaning more rock and a little bit darker with still some like folksy stuff happening. So I'm interested to see how that changes who people associate with me with.
And it's almost sad that we have to do that. Like, in order for me to describe to somebody what your music sounds like, I have to use somebody else's music to do that.
Sure. It's probably the easiest way.
It is the easiest
Because
way.
I feel like genre is so subjective. Like, I really struggle with assigning genres because I'm like, that's not how I think about music.
It's a general vicinity if I
Yeah.
say you're a folk artist. Well, you're not exactly, because if you listen to the EP, you're not.
I'm like alternative
Folk.
pop folk.
Yeah, sort of. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
It makes it intriguing, but
Mhm.
I'll use an example of an artist who's been here that I've been a long time fan of, David Wilcox. May not know his name, but when I was first getting into his music, I was trying to tell other people, like my sister, about him. Oh, you like James Taylor, you would probably like David Wilcox. Now, I said something like that to David himself in an interview, and he didn't love it. Even though it's not true, it was more of I'm just trying to give somebody a realm of where you live near. You live near the James Taylor world.
For sure.
You know, it's not an insult. It's obviously a compliment, really.
Yeah.
Somebody that great, but
I've definitely gotten some interesting comparisons, like at shows, people will come up to me and be like, oh, you remind me of this artist. And I'm like, really?
okay,
It's not a bad thing. I'm just like, I've never heard that one before.
why not?
Yeah,
As long as they're listening.
exactly.
Lauren Blackford is my guest today on Acoustic Alternatives. We're at Grove Studios, grovestudios.space. If you want to see what the space looks like yourself, or if you're watching the podcast, you can see the largest room. You can see the drum set that sits between us here. Would you like to do another song?
I would. And you asked me if I wanted to do an unreleased one.
I did.
So I prepared one, if that's okay.
I'm excited. Yeah. What is it called? And tell me about the song.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, tuning. I guess we should have done that a minute ago. Lauren Blackford's debut EP came out in 2024 called One Too Many Times, available on her website, laurenblackford.us. And you can find the EP physically on Bandcamp. Do I remember that correctly?
Bandcamp, and then I have CDs available at shows.
It shows, right? All these things from memory.
All right, yeah. So this is the song that I'm planning on putting out next, whenever that may be. Actually, when I was going to Washtenaw, I took a songwriting class, and this is the song that I wrote as my final. Ended up getting an A. So I hope that it is actually good and not just rubric good.
Okay.
But
I will pay attention.
Yeah, I was at this period in my life where I was like going to be coming out of college. I was like gigging more, really starting to like pursue music seriously. And this, yeah, it's just sort of like a sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek way of saying that like I'm gonna do this till I die. So the song's called Dead Body Baby. it all to the bank. Told the city to have fun with my dad. As for the cause, I'm leaving it blank. Tell everybody to start placing their bets. It wasn't a living, could barely even breathe. It's suffocating, wanting everything. So I'm leaving, I'm getting what I need. Over my dead body, baby. I kept it all to the shrink. Had to make sure all of my secrets were safe. I had to do it, honey, pushed to the brink. So blame me not, forgot, I'll see you at the wake. Oh, my, oh, I know that it's a sight to see, but I never minded people staring at me. Oh, so dramatic, you're falling to your knees over my dead body, baby. Overcome by the fever, I could never break. All wrapped up in cedar, pray the Lord my soul to take. Overcome by the fever, I could never shake. Throw your dirt on me, sir, over my dead body, babe. Over my dead body, baby.
I love it. Lauren Blackford on Acoustic Alternatives, Dead Body Babe or Baby?
Baby.
Baby. And I love how you've left out Over My from the song title because it makes it even darker.
Yeah. I also love it too because I feel like, I don't know if you're familiar with tarot at all, but like the death card in tarot is more representative of like rebirth rather than like the end of something. And that's kind of how I feel about this. So the idea of having dead body and baby, it's like transitioning into this period of commitment. That's sort of what I think.
I missed that. That's very cool. Well, congrats. That is an A. I'll give you an A.
Thanks.
How do I do that with my hands? I'm
very excited to put that one out. That one's tracked and sounding really cool. So.
Okay. That could be, I mean, you know, at some point you have to have a radio hit to, I still think radio is important because
so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is still a vehicle, you know, back in the day, before you were born again, MTV was instrumental when there was it was only FM radio was how you got a hit, or AM radio. Then MTV came along and they created a whole nother like way to have a hit.
Yeah.
There are songs that were never really big hits on the radio, but were really big on MTV. And then they eventually became radio hits. Like we view them differently. Like Squeeze Tempted never hit the top 40, but everybody knows this song. It's been covered a gazillion times, but in America, it only got to like number 42. How is it such a popular song then, right? MTV. In this day and age, you know, having a viral video or a TikTok or something that takes off is your way to have another hit. But I still think people hear you on the radio and it's...
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time that I got a radio play was on WDET.
Like Beth
and it was just so surreal to be sitting in my car and being like, no, this is actually on the radio. Like, this isn't just me playing it through my Bluetooth speakers in my car. Like, it's on the radio. That was a very cool, like, checkbox bucket list moment for me that I've wanted since I was a kid. So.
I wish it had been me. I got to do that for a few people. No, I get excited when I'm the first person who like says, "Oh, you have to hear Alison Albrecht." And
she love Alison.
I saw her do the national anthem at a Tiger game. Didn't know anything about her. Took a picture of the screen because I was so impressed. Tracked her down. Said, "Do you have any records out? Because I would like to play on my radio show, and maybe I'll have you in." And didn't know at the time she was a 10th grader at Roper High School. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, yes.
I love Alison. We've become friends. She's great. It's funnily enough, I went to high school with her cousins.
Oh.
And then I went to see her play at Blind Pig. And then a couple years later, we like connected. And yeah, she's great.
If you back up into her Facebook feed many years ago, you will find her doing the same thing, reacting to hearing herself on my show for the first time on the radio for the first time. So it's a thrill. Again, I'm sorry I wasn't on board immediately, but it was Rochelle who brought you to my attention. So thanks, Rochelle.
Yeah, shout out Rochelle.
We love her. She's got what a voice. Woo.
Yeah.
Woo. Doesn't get enough attention. Another one who I feel like is just too far under the radar for most people, but when you see her, you just go, oh,
yeah,
what in the world? Speaking of Facebook, I was scrolling because I was looking for things to talk to you about. And one of your videos you posted, you had the Blue Nile in the background. How do you know the Blue Nile? Like their music was in the background of one of your videos.
I don't know. I just know a lot of random
That
music.
is not a band that made big impact in America.
No. And I think by the time I was like in middle school, I started making a point to like curate a good taste. And I would, find, I think I was using like Google Play Music at the time or something, but I would find, niche indie playlists and just started learning stuff. And now I look back at what I was listening to and I was like, that was good music. So like, thank God that I was actually like listening to things that were cool and that influenced my taste. But yeah, I think just I'm more of a song person than an artist person. And then if I'm particularly in love with a song, maybe I'll look for other stuff. But I think I've just racked up a large catalog of music that I listen to. So
I was wondering if it was siblings or parents that brought you there. That's kind of...
Nope. It was the internet.
Is their taste anything like yours? Did you absorb their taste?
We all have pretty different tastes. I was actually thinking about this recently, particularly with my brothers, because they all have like distinct tastes. But in terms of like what I grew up listening to, my mom had a boombox that she would play CDs on, and that was like Faith Hill, Michael Jackson, Barbra Streisand, Pink, like just like
pop singers.
Yeah. And so that was a big influence for me. My dad is like a big 80s rock fan. Like he was listening to Kiss and like, so that's what I got introduced to, like Chicago Foreigner, that sort of like cinematic rock. And then my one brother is really into like the EDM sphere. Like he'll go to EDM festivals. So that was like a big influence when I was younger, is like that sort of electronic. And I feel like you still hear that.
I can hear that in the EP, actually.
And then my oldest brother was really into like rap and hip hop young. So one of the first songs I ever learned the lyrics to was Heartless by Kanye because of my brother. So yeah, we're all very different and very like into what we're into. But I feel lucky because then I've had a very well-rounded exposure.
Yes. If I remember correctly, The Fray did a cover of Heartless.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it was like a deluxe bonus track edition song at some point.
That's so funny.
There's a lot of things up in here. I can't always get to them because there's too much up there sometimes now. Yeah, that's a way to develop a music taste. Just take all of those different parts, stir them up. And I mean, I don't know that what Paramore is obviously an answer to one of the questions I would ask. What do you listen to? And what did you listen to on the way here? You know what?
Yeah, well, on the way here, I was warming up, so I was listening to me mostly and singing along.
That's great. I love that.
That's cool that I get to do that now. But yeah, I don't know. I make like monthly playlists where I'll just put everything I discover that month into a playlist and like really get it into my brain. This past month, I was listening to a lot of like slow rock and like jazz adjacent stuff, but I've started my next month playlist and it's more like alternative pop. So yeah, it's just based on my mood. And
some young jazz adjacent artists that I wonder if you like. Leve, L-A-U-F,
yeah.
Okay. And Aaron, all lowercase letter and exclamation point, A-R-O-N.
Haven't heard.
Check him out. He's actually he's kind of in that same, like, doesn't really have the jazz category to check the box in, but it's as close as not jazz. It's like, yeah, okay. He's similar to, in that way to Leve. Like, she doesn't really have a box.
No, I think she is like jazz pop is like what she
kinda,
markets herself as, but yeah.
Anyway, where was I going next? On the EP, you put out a video for One Too Many Times. Mm-hmm. Tell me about making that video, who's in the video, and maybe we would end with that song if you're able to.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so that I knew that I wanted to do a music video for the project, and I knew that I could only afford to do one, and that's fine.
It looks great. It really does.
Thanks. Yeah. And so my idea with that was that I wanted to incorporate all of the songs from the EP into that video in some way or another. So the main scene that plays throughout the video is me alone in this loft that I like live in. And I'm flipping through an old journal and sort of reminiscing about this past relationship. But each of the flashback scenes sort of correlate to other songs on the EP. So there's a scene where we're like walking and there's like a flower. That's sort of like a good thing. There's a scene where we're like playing Scrabble and drinking wine. That's games. And then there's a scene where we're breaking up. So that's wasted potential or reset button or whatever. But yeah. So, but the sort of like plot twist in the video is that I am like realizing this cycle has happened before. And then it cuts back to all the same scenes, but with different actors, which I was very proud of that concept. I think when I first wrote One Too Many Times and I would just listen to the demo on repeat, I would start to get like images of those visuals, and that big drop halfway through the song, I was like, oh, I need to be ripping something. And so just over time, more of the pieces fell into place, and I knew that I wanted to direct it because I had such a vision for it. But I worked mainly with Patrice Scott, who's a filmmaker out of Grand Rapids. He was still in school at the time, so I was like, cool, we can get some like cheap equipment from the school and work on this. But he put together the rest of the crew, and I couldn't have asked for a better crew. They were all so cool. And then the actors...
Did you know any of the actors going in?
No.
Wow.
We met that morning.
Wow.
And it's funny because I like found them just over time. I was sort of like scouting Michigan actors, and I had those 3 slated. And I just was like so dead set on those 3. I was like, I hope they say yes, because I don't have an alternate. And luckily they all said yes. Awesome. And we've all become friends since then. Grace, who's the female actress, we got piercings together last year. We FaceTime, like we're chill. I talked to Aaron. Yeah, so luckily we all had like instant chemistry that morning, and we're just joking. The 3 of them were like off to the side, hanging out and playing improv games like when they weren't shooting. Cool. It was just such a good vibe, and it was a super long day. We shot most of it in one day. It was like a 12-hour shoot all around Ann Arbor.
That's great. It's really pro.
Yeah, it was a lot of great memories from that day. Everyone was exhausted but so fulfilled.
All right, let's hear the song.
All right,
if you don't mind. I don't know if you had something else in mind, but I love this one, and it's a great way to end the EP and the conversation.
Looks like you finally got tired of me. Congratulations. 4 months is more than enough time to grieve the one we wasted. I wonder if you filed me under regrets, or people you would rather just forget. Looks like you finally moved on from me. It's frankly overdue, but I still think about it constantly. And I don't think you do. I hate that I live in the back of your mind while you're still in the front of mine. 'Cause I know it wasn't love or anything other than a good time, but it's nice thinking you got me feeling your body under mine. So maybe I just refuse to look at the rules for what they became, and I can't decide if I should blame the player or the game. 'Cause one too many times found myself waiting for someone I don't even want to come back. One too many times found myself chasing someone I don't even love like that. And I don't even love you like that. Was your attention a formality? Was any of it true? I'm losing track of what's reality and what I just assumed. I hate that I don't know who I should believe. Why do I trust a stranger more than I trust me? 'Cause it's hard not to get wound up, built from the ground up out of bad rhymes. You probably think that I'm crazy. What's the point changing your mind? So don't try to reach out when you figure out this is about you. 'Cause I've got nothing left to lose, and I'll probably take it out on you. 'Cause one too many times found myself waiting for someone I don't even want to come back. One too many times found myself chasing someone I don't even love like that. And I don't even love you like that. No, no. don't think I can say the same for me. So here's to patience. Think I can finally admit it. We're not friends. So this is where our story ends.
I love it. Lauren Blackford from Milan, Michigan on Acoustic Alternatives. We're here at Grove Studios, grovestudios.space if you want to see what it's all about here. And I am so grateful for them to, if they hadn't invited me to do a podcast in like the month after you did your first gig, I would not have had all these awesome experiences like watching you do these songs this many feet away from me. And you can see if you're watching the video, she's wearing a shirt that has that song title on it as we celebrate anniversary number 2 of the EP. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I can't wait to hear what's next. You have the it factor. This is something I listen for. I've been listening to music a long time and making a point to discover new artists and turn people on to them either on the radio or when this came along, it was another vehicle to do that. And I don't just invite people randomly. Like when I met you backstage, I sincerely was blown away by your performance and said, when I say that to somebody, it's because I want other people to say, oh my God, John is right. You know, we always like to be right, right? So I hope if you've watched or listened to this, that you will go to her website. You will find a place to see her live before you have to pay $100 to see her at a bigger venue, because it's going to happen. I see it happening. You've got it.
Thanks.
I'm very happy to have spent some time with you, Lauren. Thank you for sharing your songs.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Yes, the songs and stories were awesome, and I really hope that people do latch on and find you. And if you enjoyed this conversation, we mentioned a few other people. If you're a first-time watcher because you're a friend of Lauren's, well, Alison Albrecht has been here. Chris DuPont has been here a couple of times. Well, actually, once here, once at his own place with Kylie. Kylie's been here. David Wilcox, who I mentioned, has been here. There's been a lot of folks that have been through. Brian Van Ork of the Verve Pipe has been here a couple of times. We've had Glenn Phillips of Toad the Wet Sprocket. We've had just a whole bunch of folks. 102 guests, not all of them unique, most of them unique, but I encourage you to check that out, johnbomarito.com. You can link to all of the things I do, including the radio shows on Sonic Coast and Radio Cobra Detroit, where you will hear these songs again, either on Radio Cobra Detroit's weekday feature called The Acoustic Coffee Break, or my Sunday morning show, which we missed because we were here together. Mm-hmm. We should have been listening to me. No, I'm kidding. Again, thanks, Lauren, and I appreciate your time today.
Thanks.
More coming up. We've got 2 more booked in the immediate near future. Ryan Racine and John Gorka will be joining me in the studio soon. Thanks for listening.